Hi guys, how's everyone doing today? Aaj wala kem cho? Aaj sab kaise ho? So today I'm making this video outside. There's a lot of heavy winds here in South Florida, and there just happens to be some background noise in my neighborhood. So if you do hear something and you can't hear me okay, apologize. I'm gonna try to speak up as much as possible. Also, I did realize the view on the camera might be slightly tilted. That's because I think my camera stand was damaged when I was going to or from India. Which is unfortunate because I didn't use my camera stand at all in India. But yes, that explains why it might be slightly slanted. Just bear with me for this video. Probably gonna order another one soon. Okay, now moving on to the video. So the video is about being emotional versus being spiritual, okay? This video is highly opinionated and could possibly be viewed as judgmental. So I just wanna throw that out there, okay? I'm definitely aware of that, but moving forward. Now, I made a video a long time ago about true spirituality versus spiritual ego, okay? That's kind of gonna play a big premise in this video. Why? Because if you're acting out of emotions versus true spirituality, but you think you acting emotionally is, you know, like being spiritual, what's actually happening is your ego is getting you to do what it wants impulsively, right? Like, you know, listen, like overreacting on certain temporary emotions you feel, or overacting on certain, you know, thoughts that you feel. And usually these thoughts and emotions have strong influence on you, aka not really you, but like your mind. And they weigh such a heavy influence on your mind is because you haven't detached from something here or there, okay? Now, but moving forward. So if you are behaving emotional, and in my opinion, and you are coining it as spiritual, most likely, like I said, it's just lack of awareness, right? It's lack of awareness that, you know, you're getting these temporary emotions and thoughts, and you think just giving into it, and this could possibly be to, you know, false information you've read like online or in the media somehow, or even through word of mouth, right? But I'm here to clear that up today. So just be aware of that, right? That, okay, just because you feel something, or just because you think of something that, like, you know, spawns a certain feeling in you, does not mean you have to act out of emotion, right? If you watch my videos, you know, I always say, do not act out of emotions. You definitely don't suppress the emotions, because then they will build up and then, you know, splurge out one day. But do not act out of emotion ever. You can feel the emotion internally, process it, release it without acting on it whatsoever, right? Just like you can think about somebody or something and you don't have to do anything, right? Then that's not you, like, you know, like trying to fake that you're someone you're not. It's not like that. It's just you being grounded in your actions. That's all it is, okay? There's no need to overcomplicate anything. Now, moving on. So being truly spiritual, in my opinion, versus emotional. So another thing is that, okay, for those of us who, you know, consider ourselves spiritually elevated in some sense, you might notice that, okay, there's a certain wisdom that comes beyond the rational, logical, you know, regular way of thinking, you can say, right? Which is true. Now, how do we decipher that versus, okay, just, you know, every time we feel something or something like that, just give into that, right? So the very, very first thing, and here's where you have to really uncover the basics first, okay? You're not just gonna, like, you know, start meditating. First of all, most of the people who I see acting emotionally and think that they're being spiritual, I don't think they're meditating more than 1 hour total a week, okay? I highly doubt it. But anyways, the first thing is higher awareness, right? You need to get the basics down first, right? You need to get, like, if you're playing a sport, let's just say basketball, you need to get the basics down before you can, you know, start doing like crazy, like long shots and things like that, right? A lot of people, when it comes to spirituality, you just want to jump to the end, right? You just want to, like, you know, all these like magical powers and, you know, like controlling this and like all this kind of stuff, right? But you need to get the basics down first, which is awareness. Let's just start with that. Awareness, right? So you need to be as aware as possible, right? So you definitely know, hey, this is really rooted out of, you know, some temporary emotion or some temporary thought or something like that. We do not need to, you know, participate any further in whatever, you know, our mind or our ego is trying to get us to go down, right? I hope that's clear for the first point, right? So that kind of clears it up. Now, let's just say you do have a strong, awareness foundation, right? You're meditating. First of all, if you're meditating, okay, let me move forward. So here's the other thing. Figuring out like calls from the universe, calls from like your soul, or whatever you want to coin it, right? Here's the thing. Usually, okay, the more higher your awareness is, the more valid they are, right? Now, how do you know where you're at and all this kind of stuff, right? So, like I said, overall, the more you raise your awareness, overall is good. Now, start off slow, right? So, yeah, sure, you want to value certain intuitions and certain things like that. Okay, fine. Value them when your awareness is at your highest. So, if you, I guess you can say, just finished a long fast, if you woke up really early in the morning and just finished meditating, things like that. You guys see where I'm going, right? But these require some work to get your awareness up. And a lot of people do not want to do the work. They just want the shortcut, and it just ends up not getting them any good, right? Behaving emotionally is not going to get you anywhere, right? And the way you can identify this is, like I said, if you notice, or you notice someone else in a really low awareness state, making certain impulsive decisions and things like that, and coining them as spiritual, something should go off like in your head about you or somebody else that, hey, this probably isn't rooted in, pure higher conscious calling, right? This is probably rooted in their own head. So I just want to make that clear. This is a very real thing, right? A lot of people, especially here in the West, they don't acknowledge that, right? They think just, okay, I'm not going to say they as in all, but a lot of people, okay, that I've seen, they like get like one weird dream, or they get like, I don't know, something happens, or they'll get like really high or something, and then they'll think like, they figured it all out, which is not actually true. And just another thing, okay, most likely if you are not in a sober state of mind, you could have some feelings about certain enlightenment and things like that. Okay, most likely this is a false road, because the best way I can explain it in a short thing, because this is not what this video is about, is if you're an overweight, obese person, and instead of like actually losing the weight, you just kind of like, I think there's some surgery where you kind of just freeze your fat or something like that. It's kind of like taking the second route, right? That's not going to acknowledge the fact that a whole host of health problems that you might have that just kind of, you're just overlooking because you just fixed it on the externally, right? So taking a substance, for example, is just doing that. You're getting the very external glimpse of whatever. Anyways, moving forward. So back to the video topic. Emotional versus spiritual, okay? It's not a very black and white thing, okay? But the best way is just govern your awareness, or govern somebody else's awareness. Short term and versus long term. The more you're raising your awareness long term, the more you're actually gonna be rooted out of spirituality and not out of emotions. The more, if you recognize that, hey, you're in a lower awareness area, don't think too much emotionally, right? Think more logically and rationally. That is okay if you recognize that your awareness is not super high. And also short term, right? Let's just say you're overall a high aware person, but just for some reason you ate some like weird food or something and it's bothering you for a couple of days. You don't need to make any crazy or get any crazy emotional thoughts, right? Because this could be your kind of lower self kind of trying to drag you back down, okay? So I think that's it for this video. I didn't realize all my talking has already gotten me to almost 10 minutes. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up. But if you have any questions or comments, as usual, you can feel free to let me know. And until next time, I'll talk to everyone later. Thank you all so much for watching.